In the beginning of my career, around 1990, I happened to attend a seminar on steel construction. So while the speaker was explaining the advantages of steel construction, I noticed that the audience were whispering amongst each other, it is not practical. We are only used to RCC construction. So my revolutionary mind was forced to think, if steel has so many advantages, then why can't we think of something in between solution? Like I thought of hybrid structure solution, and my structural engineers made my dreams come into reality. It's very important to have such seminars which actually widen your horizons while we stay connected to our roots. That's some of the awards. We got Architect of the JK Architect of the Year award in '99 and so many others. So steel being used in all aspects of architecture, building and construction, and it is arguably the most popular metal used in construction. So steel allows creativity of shapes, architectural expressiveness, faster construction, lightweight construction, and reliable than other types of structures. These are some of the prominent steel buildings, like the Howrah Bridge, one of the most prominent tourist destination in Kolkata, built in 1943. Then it's Walt Disney Concert Hall, which was done by Franco Gehry in 2003, and Burj Khalifa is the RCC along with steel, which was done in 2010, the world's tallest building. The efficiency of steel was proven again back in 2012 by a team of more than 200 people who worked in Mohali round the clock to build a building within 48 hours deadline. Instacon, the much talked about building, entered into the record books as the fastest completed 10-story building. It has an area of 25,000 square meters and weighs 200 tons. In fact, my son, who was studying in Australia, he was told about this building there in one of the sessions. Now, structural systems is being used in almost every type of structure, including multi-story buildings, bridges, and towers, and industrial buildings. So there are two types. One is the skeletal type, and one is the shell type. Skeletal is, of course, having beams and columns. So it's the tower poles, structure components of hydraulic work, and whereas shell system, tanks and reservoirs for storage of liquids. The main load carrying elements in this category are the plates and the sheets. Pre-engineering buildings are also there, so which can cover a span up to 93 meters wide, and eave heights as high as 30 meters are also possible. From planning to occupancy, nothing matches steel pre-engineered buildings in terms of versatility, flexibility, and total value engineering. A pre-engineering building system is without doubt one of the fastest growing building systems in the world. The advantage that it offers appeal to all parties involved in the project. After all, who can resist a building? Systems that offer speed, quality, and value. Talking of sustainability, green buildings, there's reduced material, reuse, and recycle. Steel is one of the most sustainable building materials in the world. The industry has embraced common sense approach that reducing its impact on the environment is not only the right thing to do, but it makes economic sense. So here are the 5 green facts about steel buildings. They are recyclable because the same steel is reused. And there is a lot of speed of construction. Steel buildings usually come as pre-assembled parts and they just fit together like that of a puzzle. And there is a lot of adaptability, longevity, and cool coatings are possible. Since the early 1990s, the steel industry has reduced its energy used to produce a ton of steel by approximately 1/3. More than 95% of the water used in steel making process is recycled and returned, often cleaner than what it was taken from before. And every piece of steel used in construction contains recycled content. So why to opt for steel structures? They have a lot of advantages. For example, high strength, lightweight in nature, excellent ductility, withstands extensive deformation without failure even under high tensile stress. There's elasticity, uniformity of material, ease of fabrication and speed of construction, watertight and airtight construction, long spans are possible, durability, great building heights can be achieved, openings can be easily provided, simplifies installation of services, increases effective life of building, there's greater flexibility and easy demolition, then there is adaptability of framework in the change of use. So some of the prominent features of steel construction, it allows you to have greater creativity. I see this is a state-of-the-art science center in Spain, which was done in 2005. Sorry. Yeah. And Lyon Airport Station, again, a very creative structure. Talking of Haidar Aliyev Cultural Center, Baku, Azerbaijan by Zaha Hadid, again it's a very, very creative structure. The facade of the building is surprisingly supported with steel structure called space frames, truss-like, lightweight, rigid structures, we all know about it. Then it allows easy extension, easy and efficient fabrication, ease of fixing a facade, long spans are possible. Slender columns, more space, greater building heights are possible. There is no limit of architectural design. There is transparency, we can use natural light material. There is freedom of expression. We can create anything with this, any shape is possible. Now we talk of steel construction, how we implement it in our projects. So these are some of our projects. So first we talk of Baba Banda Singh Bahadur War Memorial, Chapar-Chiri. It's the tallest monument in country, that is 328 feet high and the 7th tallest monument in the world. It won the Outstanding Concrete Structure Award in the year 2012 and it also won the Creative Excellence in Architecture Award in 2012. It is a hybrid structure made of RCC and steel. As I told you, when I attended that seminar, I thought of why not have hybrid structures. So the design concept of this memorial came out of the pages of history. It is said that when Wazir Khan came to know that Banda Bahadur has arrived in Banur, Banur is in Patiala, near Patiala, he chose a site for war which was plain on one side and had rough terrain of Chappar, Chidi and Tibbas on the other. Now keeping the comfortable plain site for himself, he left the rough terrain for these people, for Banda Bahadur's forces. So when Banda Bahadur came and he climbed the highest mound, he looked at the enemy's lineup and decided his war strategy, which was that which made them win the war. And what was that? That he allowed the enemy to come forward and face this rough terrain. The soldiers on the horses faced Chappar and they fell down. And then they got up. When they got up, they moved further and they faced Jhidis. Jhidi is like a taller bush. And then there were Tibbas. Tibbas were made of mound, behind which the Sikh soldiers were hiding and they did guerrilla attack on them. Hence, they won the war. So, there were two ways to do it. One was that we make a building and we put it on a piece of paper and focus light on them. The other was we recreate the whole landscape of Chappar, Chidi and Tibbas, and that is exactly what we did. We decided to recreate the landscape of Chappar, Chidi and Tibbas which existed 300 years ago. All our buildings are under the Tibbas and made of RCC domes and have earth and grass above it and the statues of generals on top. On the other plain side, which was occupied by the Mughal forces, we created a monumental scale victory tower which we decided to keep as 328 feet high with its 3 levels of victory walks. A Sikh dome is placed on top with a khanda. There are triangular openings which signify the holes in the walls which were used at that time to pop out guns and cannons. Interestingly, the first slab of this monument was to be laid at 70 feet. So there was a big challenge. Now the entry to this complex is through a small gate inside a big wooden gate, and we created something like a killa. Now there was a big challenge. As you can see, this victory tower has arches which are in the increasing order to with the side where 6 existed. The big challenge was that we were allotted this work in the month of January in 2011, and the deadline of inauguration was November 11. Imagine doing 100-meter high structure in just 10 months' time, because we needed 1 month for the landscaping also, because this kind of a project is not of any use without the landscaping. So we reduced the time of construction, and we decided to go in for a hybrid structure. That is, we were using steel along with RCC. The central core, as you can see on the right side, was made of RCC, shear walls. This central core, having lift and staircase, was of RCC, and which was taken from ground zero to the top in just 40 days span through slip-form shuttering. And steel construction came to our rescue then. Supporting side inclined columns were erected, and then they were connected to the central core by beams. And roller deck sheet was used as a permanent shuttering for RCC slab without compromising on aesthetics, because we wanted outside, we wanted concrete walls. So without compromising on aesthetics, we did the whole structure. We wanted the first level to be curvilinear, so that was done in RCC, cast in situ. But why we wanted curvilinear, I feel that every building must, speak to its cause. Now, what do you do when you have a victory? It's collar high, so the building is like collar high. And the rest above all walls were done in precasted, and they were fixed with the help of steel frames. The dome above was being fabricated side by side, and on the 10th month, the dome was lifted and placed on top. And that's it. So as you can see on the right hand side, there is a temporary steel ladder, which we used to go by this to check all the levels. In fact, I have gone by this ladder, steel ladder, almost 5 times during construction. And down below, this is the dome shell, which was again with the help of steel shuttering, it was made possible. The next project that we are showing is indoor sports complex. The most challenging part was to cover this arena with a truss 90 meter by 120 meters, and this could be done only with steel for achieving design form in elevation. This is being done in Amritsar Jalandhar bypass road, which is being developed at Sports Hub. The concept is inspired by fluid geometry of water in motion, creating spaces and surrounding landscape environment with mounds sweeps into the city of Amritsar. Our next project where we have used steel is Swaran Dwar, Ambala. See, in order to celebrate Swaran Jayanti, that is the golden jubilee of Haryana, the government of Haryana decided to install a commemorative structure on Delhi-Ambala Expressway. Now, they wanted a structure to be designed in a way that integrates with the culture of local area and becomes one of the unique structures of Haryana. According to our proposal, we decided to make the structure in the form of a bow. Now, why a bow? See, Haryana is the only state where knowledge of Gita was imparted to Arjuna. And why Arjuna? Because Arjuna was focused, be it archery, knowledge of life, developing a state, implementation of policies, success comes only from focus. Keeping the same synergy of focus in all entry gates, we decided to propose one distinct feature which relates to the historic culture of that city. Like Ambala was named after the temple of Ambama, which still exists there, and hence we proposed a line, Amba Vahan, to highlight Make in India also. Arjuna received Gyan of Gita since he was focused archer who could not see anything beyond his aim. So to achieve the desired shape and look better, we went in for stainless steel sheets, which are going to be CNC cut. This structure is spread over a span of 53.3 meters, and it rests on a central core, a central column supported with SS cables. The stainless steel sheet will be laser cut or maybe CNC cut, through which LED strips which will be inside will spread the light to exemplify the aura of structure. SS cables will be lit to create excellent lighting patterns. Our next project where we have used steel is Maltipatpur bus terminus in Puri, Odisha. This one is a completely steel structure. Here again, we were given very short time. This was made for to facilitate the visitors who were coming for Nabha Kalibar. Nabha Kalibar is a religious mela which is similar to Kumbh Ka Mela, which happens after every 12 years, and a lot of devotees come for that. So since it was for a religious function, so we decided the concept to be inspired by architectural language of Jagannath Puri temple. And again, time being the essence of contract, 12 months, we decided to go in for a steel structure as the major building material. Due to its property of speedy construction, along with the flexibility of design. It has a fabricated structure inspired from the Shikhira of Jagannath Puri temple, hence steel helped in both speedy construction and good aesthetics. Now what happened that we were having 13 bays and 5 bays on the other side. So we decided that 5 bays this side and 5 bays that side, we are going to construct a Shikhira, and in between we will keep it simple. So this is how we were able to integrate creativity into technology. In fact, we recently got a project last year in, for CIC building, and the secretary there, she showed me this building. She says, Renu, you should go and visit Orissa, this building, you know. It's very nice building coming up. I said, ma'am, this I am doing. So she said, okay, now I know I'm in safe hands. So, and my inherent nature to connect with the local culture compelled me to visit Heritage Village and notice the great art which is called Patachitra, and I used it in the interior of the building on a magnificent scale, and it came out quite well. So we are also doing a 150 bedded super specialty hospital in Varanasi, which is going to house the super specialty block, casualty block, and housing for staff, doctors hostel, basement parking, and upgradation was to be done for the existing structure. All this in Varanasi. The bigger challenge was that upgradation was to be done in a functional hospital which is running. So what we did, we started using LGS construction. With the use of LGS construction, we were able to do this whole thing in 3 months' time. Then we have the forest complex where we have used a concept of fauna in this thing as a tortoise. From the aerial view it looks like a tortoise, and flora as the tree. For this we used steel for the facade for creating the desired shape. That's it. Now another, we are using steel in War Memorial Ambala Cant, where we are going to construct a lotus bud of 60-meter high. In 1857 Sepoy Mutiny, or what we call the First War of Independence, people used to spread the messages on lotus leaves and keep it on the roundabouts. So that is why we have used this. Here again we are going to use the central part as the core, and we are going to use hybrid of steel and RCC for this. Architect builds the building, thereafter the building builds its user. Steel construction saves time, and time is money, so steel indeed is the best investment today.
The Nagara for India's struggle for freedom was beaten on this very land of Chapparchiri on 12th May 1710. Guru Gobind Singh Ji, after having sacrificed his 4 sons, went to Nanded.
And they did levels of victory, having a central core and a dome on top. This dome is a Sikh dome. Now, all these 3 levels have RCC walls on the sides, which have arches, and the arches are on the increasing order towards where the Sikh warriors existed. Now, this I call the Chardikara. And on top of that, you can see those the triangular windows. These triangular windows depict the walls in the holes in the minarets, which used to be there for popping out the guns and the cannons. This 328-meter high Victory Tower is standing on 269 piles, which are 35 meters deep. And on top of that is the central core, which is taking all the load, and this whole central core was taken from ground zero to the top till the dome in just 40 days span. After this, we constructed these columns, the steel columns, which are going like that, and we have the steel beams, and then the girders, and then that's the roller deck sheet, and on top of that is the slab. You can see the landscape of Chapparchiri and Tibbas, which may have existed 300 years back, which made them win the war. Chappar, or the pond, was constructed on the low-lying site of this area, and Tibbas were created out of dome-like structures which were made of RCC and earth on top. Now the statues of all the warriors like Baba Banda Singh Bahadur, Ali Singh, Mali Singh, and all the 5 generals were done on top of that. This open-air theatre with a capacity of 1,200 persons has been planned alongside the Victory Tower, so that there's a projection room and projections can be done on the different stark and bold walls of the Victory Tower. And we get a very live sound and light shows on these high walls. We've used color wash lights here. First level of victory.
Finally,
at 70 feet.
a photographer's point captures the Victory Tower with its reflection in water, a mound with a statue, and visitor all in one frame.
So all this creativity of getting reflection in water. Ambale wala.
Forest is all about flora and fauna, hence the building inspired by a tortoise in plan and a tree in elevation. The 80-feet dire central court has a water body and a 40-feet high waterfall, which reduces the ambient temperature
and saves electricity. Whether you're walking horizontally in the corridor or vertically in a glass lift, you always feel as if you are walking in a tropical rainforest. An intelligent building with occupancy and lux level sensors further save electricity. Office interiors give 270-degree
clearer view
panoramic
was
view
possible only
of the
because of
city
steel.
Mohali.
We used steel to create the desired shape.